Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Mayor.
How y'all doing?
Good. Doing great.
I heard y'all know I used to be the mayor, right? And
Yeah.
that means I kind of know everybody in the city, and y'all went last night. I heard people out at Holland Wolf, but I'm not gonna talk about how late y'all were out. I'm just proud that y'all here. Every convention that comes to New Orleans, I look at them and say, how'd you get up at 8 o'clock in the morning? Because this is a 24-hour town. So I hope y'all have a great time while you're here. Mr. Chairman, it's great to see you. Thank you so much. And Malcolm, my dear friend, Fatima, thank you. And thank all of you for coming. I just want to impart a couple of words to you, if you don't mind. I'm not really here to fire you up, but to get focused. Because we are in the business of changing the world, making this country a better place. And the way to do that is to win. That's really the only way to do it. There's nothing that's going to happen other than to change the electoral politics on the ground where it matters so that the Constitution can work like it was supposed to. And in order to do that, you have to win. Period. End of story. In my opinion, if you can't win, you don't have the ability to change policy. You won't have the ability to change the world, because when you win, you have power. Now, what you're noticing right now in your life is something that I have not seen in all of my years in public service, is that we have, for many different reasons, which we can go into when we're looking back on life, put power in the hands of a person and a group of people and an ideology that is designed to eviscerate the American dream. That's its purpose, that's its goal. And in its execution, they're doing it with an unbelievable amount of precision. And the only way to stop that from happening is to stop them. Period, end of story. Now, as I look around this room, and they keep referring to you by your name, the Young Democrats, sometimes you will hear, well, it's not my turn. It's not my time. What is it that I can really do? Am I here just to organize? Am I here just to knock on doors? I want to remind you, if you can, to go back and look at the pictures from Bloody Sunday. And I want you to have in your mind the picture of John Lewis, who was 23 years old on the day that he took that licking from the sheriff. Now, I knew John Lewis. John Lewis was a mentor of mine. I hugged John Lewis. I kissed John Lewis. I talked to John Lewis. I had a picture of John Lewis behind my desk when I was mayor of New Orleans. So when I went to take down those 4 Confederate statues and the death threats were coming and I got scared, I turned around and I looked at him. I looked at his eyes. I looked at his trench coat. I looked at his backpack. And when I saw him in the halls of Congress, I said, Congressman, can I ask you something? When that dude was about to hit you, did you know it was going to hurt? And he said, yes, I did. But it was worth it. Were you scared? He says, of course I was scared. Did they tell you that you were too young? He said, everybody did. So what I'm here to tell you is that the future is not away. The future is today. That's point number 1. Point number 2. There have been times in the history of the United States of America when the future and the fate of the country has been at risk. There have been 4 or 5 of them. They were all critical. Begin with the Revolution, begin with the Civil War. Think about the Civil Rights Movement. Think about the riots in the 60s. This is the 5th one. Now, it is true that we came out of those. And we have either progressed or we've limped along, taking 1 step forward, 2 steps back. 1 step forward, 4 steps back. 5 steps forward, 1 step back. Always fighting with the interwoven conflict that we have in the United States of America. That is the fundamental question for who we are and what we are. We are either a nation where we are all created equal, endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights of life, liberty and the pursuit of happiness, where we all come to the table of democracy as equals by virtue of the fact of who we are, not who we look like, not who our mom and daddy was, not what country we came from, but because you are an American and you are endowed with an inalienable right. Inalienable. You know what that means? Nobody can take it from you. It's yours. The word indivisible means it cannot be divided. Those are our words. That is who we are. That is the creed. It's creed. That's why they call us a creedal nation, because that is a promise that we have made to each other. Not just because I want my rights, because I know if I protect yours, I will have mine. They are mutually imposing on each other, where we desperately need one another in order for all of us to do well. Which is why the promise of America can only be realized if we understand that we are better together. And so in this moment, in this incredibly dangerous moment, you must not go to sleep. You cannot rest. You cannot wait for somebody else to do what only you can do, because there is no other you. And if we do not capture this moment, if we do not step up, if we do not do what history is calling us to do, then you may not experience the United States of America as you have experienced it in the short life that you have already had. And believe me, you are at the dawn right now. But the question is, what are you at the dawn of? Or are you at the end? You should contemplate the possibility that it might be the end, unless you make it the dawn. Because this moment is requiring that from all of us. You must not rest. You must not take for granted. You cannot assume that it's going to be okay. That's point number 2. Point number 3. Every decision has consequences. If you make a decision to drop bombs and it costs you $40 billion, if you make a decision to fund a secret police force and you spend $78 billion, if you make a decision to give a tax cut to the 1%, what happens? The rural hospital closes. And when it does, and mama and daddy have a stroke, they die because you could not get them there soon enough. When you make one choice and they cut Medicaid and you have a child that has special needs, that child potentially dies or is sick. When you cut funding for HBCUs or you cut funding for food assistance, children go hungry. All of those things weaken the stability of the strength of all of us to be the best that we can be, because decisions have consequences. Every decision you make is going to be either for good or for bad. The decisions that Trumpism has made, be clear about this, are built on the proposition that we are all not created equal. That some of us are better than others by virtue of your race or your creed or your color, that some of us are more valuable. That is a theory of blood and soil. That is what they believe. And that theory of life, because of the decisions that we the people have made, is winning right now. And that has to be changed. Point number 3. The only way it's going to get changed is if we stop it from happening. Yeah. That's it. There is nobody coming to impeach Donald Trump. There is nobody coming to stop the Republicans in Congress to be distinguished between good Republicans across this country who are not MAGA. There is nothing that's going to help them find the courage to stand up and to fight for the rights that all of us, because they believe that their decision should lead to division, because they believe division wins. I don't. There's so much more to learn. And number one, the reason I believe in diversity is because I believe in God. And I don't believe God makes mistakes. I need an amen on that. So, for all of you in this room, me, all the other Americans are counting on you. We're not hoping that we can bring you along a little bit. Hey, you're up to bat. It's your turn to swing the bat. This is where your choices matter. If you choose not to step forward, if you choose not to go in the batter's box, if you choose not to pick up the racket, if you choose not to shoot the three-pointer, whatever it is that you got going on, if you choose not to show up for class, that's your choice. And the consequence is we will be left without the brilliance that you have to bring to us. And so what is before us right now in this moment? Right now in this moment, and the chairman has told you this, do not let them talk you out of your game. Let me explain this to all of y'all because all of y'all will understand this. I have 5 kids. I got a ping pong table at my house. All of my kids are better than me, but I still beat them. You know why? Because I talk trash. And I talk them out of it. And by the time they up 17-10, by the time we get to 19, I got them nervous, I got them thinking the wrong way, and I still win. Until they learn how to beat me. Until they learn how to stick. Until they learn how to understand. Until they learn how not to be intimidated. Now, right now, all they're trying to do is intimidate you. But let me give you a number. And the chairman alluded to this. There have been 295 elections since Donald Trump took office on January 20th. The Democrats have won 260 of them. There is something going on in America. There is something happening on the ground where you live, at the table where you eat with your family, at Thanksgiving, at Hanukkah, all those difficult conversations you have with your cousins that you don't want to talk to anymore. All of those people have started to wake up and go, oh shit, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean the obliteration of entire civilization. I didn't mean running people off the street and putting them in a dark hole without due process. Although I was a little bit scared, I have to admit. I didn't mean shooting people and killing them on the streets of Minnesota when they didn't have a gun, and then you lying to me about who these people are with us. I didn't mean that.
Right.
So if you want to win, what you need to do now, what we need to do is have big shoulders, open arms, big tent. You know why? Because you got people that want to come to us. You got people that really want to understand. This just isn't about Republican or Democrat. It's about the future of America. You know what that's called? That's called common ground. And if you can get to common ground and you can bring people to you, you want to be open to it and not say, no, I'm sorry, you don't meet the purity test. Let's not do that again in this party. Let's believe what we believe. Let's be passionate about who we are. Let's talk about what our values are. But you gotta have big shoulders. You gotta have a big tent. You gotta invite people in. You know why? Do you know why? Because it is about being right. But you know what it's also about? It's about counting. It's about math. Because if you get more votes than the other people, you win power. And if you have power, you can do good things. But if you just spend your time talking about who's right and who's pure and who's not, you sound like the conservative MAGA Republicans from way back when. And listen, God have mercy on my soul, I do not want to sound like them because that is not who we are. And as we advocate strongly and passionately, our job right now is to stop them. That is what the congressional elections are about. Because once you get past that, my friends, that's when the dawning of the new day will begin. That is when you will, for the first time, and this should be so exciting to you, as the people who are going to run this country, you can begin to dream about the America that should be. Because we are not going back to where we were. It's like New Orleans got destroyed by Katrina. 250,000 homes destroyed. 1,800 people were killed. We had to rebuild this city. What did we do? We grabbed our past that was important, that told us who we are. We got rid of the mistakes that we made, and we looked forward. We looked forward to a new day where we can make New Orleans the city should have been had we gotten it right the first time. And you are going to have a chance, my fellow Americans, to write the next chapter in American history. To make sure that, number one, it's not the denouement, not the end, but the dawning of a new day. And you get to construct a new day if you win. And that is what 2028 and beyond is going to be about. This is the world that you are going to live in. The one that you are going to have the power to make. But you cannot have the power if you do not win. So I want to excite you into being proud of the success that we've had, Mr. Chairman, but getting off your butt tomorrow morning and working like you were just riding a wet mule until the midterms, and then after that, just let your mind go into the possibilities of what can be, because you will have the power for one of the very few times in American history to write the future. It's in your hands, and it's on the shoulders of the great John Lewis. God bless you all.